Good morning, my dear children. So children, in previous video we have discussed about what you mean by data and types of data like primary data and secondary data and few examples on it. Okay, today let us discuss how to present the data. Presentation of the data. So what do you mean by presentation of the data, children? Once the data is collected, the investigator has to find out ways to present it in a form which is meaningful, easy to understand and show its main features at a glance. So what do you mean by that, children? Suppose once you collect the data, okay, the data is collected, you have to find out how to present the data. How to present the data which should be meaningful. The data should be meaningful and easy to understand and show its main features at a glance. You have to find out the main features. This is how you have to present the data. To understand better, children, let us take one example how to present the data. How to present the data. Okay, let us take first example, children. Consider the marks obtained by 10 students in a mathematics test as given below. 55, 36, 95, 73, 60, 42, 25, 78, 75 and 62. So children, this data we call it as a raw data. This type of data we call it as a raw data, children. So these are the marks obtained by 10 students in a mathematics test. So by looking at this data, can you find out immediately the highest mark and lowest mark? It takes some time. We cannot find it out easily, isn't it, children? So let us analyze this in a better way. So what we have to do, children, let us arrange this first in an ascending order. So by arranging in ascending order, you will get like 25, 36, 42, 55, 60 and so on 95. Isn't it, children? This is the data which we have arranged in an ascending order. Now let us identify the maximum and minimum marks from this data. It will be easy for us to find out the maximum and minimum marks from this data. Isn't it, children? So what is the highest mark in data here? 95. Highest mark is equal to 95. And what is the lowest mark here? Lowest mark is equal to 25. So now the difference of the highest and lowest mark in the data, we call it as a range of the data. So range of the data is highest value minus lowest value. Range of the data is highest value minus lowest value. So what is the highest value here? 95 minus lowest mark. We got it as 25. So 95 minus 25 is how much, children? 70. So what is the range of this data? Range of the data is 70. So children, we have taken only 10 observations here, isn't it? Like 55, 36 and so on, 10 observations we have taken. Suppose when the number of observations in the data are so many, then presenting the data in ascending or descending order will be quite difficult, isn't it, children? So we have to think of an alternative method. So we have to represent this in a tabular form. Okay, so to represent this in a tabular form, let us discuss about a frequency of our data. Let us discuss too, because if many observations is there, we cannot represent it. We cannot present the data in ascending order. It will be quite difficult for us. So we will be representing it in a tabular form. So to represent this in a tabular form, let us discuss about a frequency of a data. So what do you mean by frequency of a data, children? The frequency of a particular data or value is the number of times the data value occurs. Means what? Suppose in the raw data, one particular value is repeated many number of times. One particular value is repeated many number of times. That data we call it as a frequency of a data. So to better understand, children, let us consider one example. Example 2. Consider the marks obtained out of 100 marks by 30 students of class 9 of a school. So children, these are the marks obtained by 30 students of class 9. What? 10, 20, 36, 92, 95, 40, 50, 56, 60 and so on. 60, 70, 60, 60, 88. These are the marks obtained by 30 students. Okay. Suppose I have asked you how many students got 40 marks. Here how many students got 40 marks, children? See, the encircle one you have 4 students got 40 marks. So as 4 students got 40 marks, frequency of 40 marks is what here, children? Frequency of 40 marks is 4, isn't it? So this we call it as a frequency of a data. As frequency of 40 marks is 4, we call it as a frequency of data. Frequency of data means what? Means one particular value is repeated many times. We call it as a frequency of the data. I hope so you have understood what you mean by frequency of the data, children. Okay. To understand more clearly, let us represent this in a tabular form. Okay. In a tabular form, you have marks in one column and another column you have number of students. Here number of students means what? Frequencies. You see the tabular form here. 10 marks, 1 student got. See, 10 marks, only 1 student got. Next one, 20 marks, only 1 student got. Next, 36 marks, 3 students got. You see, 3 students got 36 marks. Next, 40 marks, 4 students got. This is how you will be representing 50 marks, 3 students got. 56, 2 students got. 60, 4 students and so on. 95, 1 student. Like this, seeing the data, you can represent this in a tabular form. Suppose I have asked you 36 marks, how many students got? Immediately by seeing the tabular form, you can answer 3 students got 36 marks. Suppose I have asked you how many students got 92 marks. Then immediately you can say 3 students got. So it will be easy for us to find out the data. So children, such type of data, we call it as a ungrouped frequency distribution table. We call such type of data as a ungrouped frequency distribution table, or simply we can call it as frequency distribution table. So children, for this you can also represent the tally marks. So in the next example, I will explain you how to represent this in a form, in a tally marks also. So children, let us see the same example I have taken here. Consider the marks obtained by out of 100 marks by 30 students of class 9th of a school. Same example, before example what I have considered for a ungrouped frequency distribution table, same example I have taken. So to present large amount, suppose more data is given, large amount of data is given. We cannot, it is quite difficult for us to represent in an ungrouped frequency distribution table. So we can also condense it into groups, children. these marks data what they have given, we can condense them into groups. How we will do, children? See, marks obtained 0 to 20, 20 to 40, 40 to 60, 60 to 80, 80 to 100. This is how I have made a grouping. Okay, this grouping I have made like this grouping. Now it will be easy for us to represent the number of students who got 0 to 20. How many students got 0 to 20 marks? Okay, now you see, children. Here 0 to 20, this grouping like 0 to 20, 20 to 40, this all what we will call, children? We will call them as classes or class intervals. Okay, see, 0 to 20, 20 to 40, 40 to 60, 60 to 80, 80 to 100. This all we will call it as classes or class intervals. Okay, children. Now, see, in the first class interval, children. First class interval what you are having? What is the least number in this? 0. So, 0 is called as a lower class limit. We call it as a lower class limit. And 20. Here highest greater number is what, your children? 20. So, 20 is called as a upper class limit. You see the last class interval, children. 80 is a lower class limit and 100 is a upper class limit. This is how all the values which are on the left side is we call them as a lower class limit. All the values on the right side we call them as a upper class limit. Okay, children. You have understood what you mean by lower class limit and upper class limit. Now let us find class size. Okay. How to find class size, children? The difference of upper limit and lower limit. The difference of upper limit and lower limit, we call it as class size. Means upper limit minus lower limit. Here what is the upper limit, children? Here upper limit, you see first class interval 0 to 20. What is the first upper limit? 20. And what is the lower limit there? 0. Isn't it? So class size is equal to upper limit minus lower limit. 20 minus 0, which is equal to 20. Let us see one more thing. You consider second class interval here. 20 to 40. In this, what is the upper class limit? 40. What is the lower class limit? 20. So 40 minus 20, which is equal to 20. So the size is called, we call this as a class size, class width, or we can also call it as class length, children. And one more thing you remember, children, always the class size will be same. See, when you have done for first intervals, you got 20. Second class intervals also class size is 20. So on for every class, for class intervals, the class size will be same. So children, now see, 0 to 20, 20 to 40, 40 to 60, 60 to 80, 80 to 100. So what you observe, this interval, children, class, it is in a continuous form, isn't it? So this type which is in a continuous form, we call them as an exclusive class intervals. Okay, we call them as an exclusive class intervals. Now let us represent the frequency, means number of students, how many students got from 0 to 20, how many students got marks. Like that, let us find out the frequency here. Now 0 to 20, we got only one student. Here number of students is 1. Why? Because you are going to consider only 10 here, children. 20, we can't consider 20 in the first class interval. In first class interval, 0 to 19. 0 to 19, how many students got marks? Those marks we are going to write in a first class intervals. So number of students 10 means only one student got. And in the second class interval, you have to consider what is there in second class interval, children? 20 to 40, isn't it? So in second class interval, 20 to 39. How many students got marks? We have to 20 to 39. How many got? 4 students got. See, I have encircled with yellow color. 4 students got, like 20, 36, 36, 40. Here you are not going to consider 40 in the second class interval. So 40 you should consider in the third class interval. In third class interval, what we have to consider? 40 to 59. Okay. And in a fourth class interval, 60 to 79. And in the last class interval, 80 to 99. So children, 40 to 59, how many children got number of students? 9. 60 to 79, 9. 80 to 99, 7. This is how you will be representing the frequency of the student frequency data. So these same you can also represent in a form of tally marks, children. How to represent here? 1 means 1 you will represent. Next one is how much? 4. 4 means 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 lines you have to write there. And next one 9. 9 means 1, 2, 3, 4. Fifth one you will have a cross like this. Next 6, 7, 8, 9. Totally 9 students. Next 60 to 80, again 9 students. You have to represent the tally marks like this. 80 to 100, 7 students got. This is how you will be represent the tally marks. This will be quite easy for you all to find out the grasp the data easily. Okay, children. So from this data we have got how we have learnt the classes or class intervals, class size, class length and all, isn't it? Class length and class size is same only, and how to represent in a form of tally marks and all we have learned. And one more thing, children, how to find out class mark. Here class mark is nothing but upper limit plus lower limit by 2. We have to do. Upper limit is how much? See the first class interval, children. Here upper limit is 20. So lower class limit is 0. So upper limit plus lower limit by 2. 20 plus 0 by 2. 20 by 2, which will be equal to 10. Second interval, you see class intervals. Here upper limit is 40. Lower limit is 20. So 40 plus 20 by 2, 60 by 2, that is equal to 30. Here the class size will vary for every interval. See, first interval you got 10. Second interval you got 60. Third interval 60 plus 40 by 2. 100 by 2, which is equal to 50. Okay, like that you will have to find out the class marks. Children, I hope so you have understood today's video. So children, for better understanding, rewatch the video one more time and complete the given assignment. Today with the video which we have discussed, this all are basics which we have learnt in previous class, children. So once again you rewatch the video and complete the assignment given below. And one more thing, children, who all did not keep separate notebook for maths, you have from now onwards you maintain a separate notebook. Statistics chapter you write in new notebook. If you don't continue in the same notebook where you are writing all the subjects in one book only. Okay, please follow this. Thank you and have a great day.